I heard a stat, and I really can't even believe this. I don't know what the exact phrase is, but Israel's per capita GDP, I think it might be. Somebody was saying it's uh, uh equal to Japan's, but it's approaching and might surpass Germany. Is that true?
I don't know. Per capita, Germany doesn't sound right. Per capita GDP, Israel. I'm looking. It's very high, uh, compared to Germany.
I keep hearing that they're going to be as wealthy or wealthier in some stat than Germany soon.
You know, one of the differences between Germany and Japan and Israel is that Israel is growing a lot faster. But I see right now the per capita GDP of Israel is 54 million oh 60. Germany is 56 million oh 40. So it's very close. So, it's hard to
That's
tell.
astonishing.
It's
That's
hard to tell
astonishing.
who, yeah, it's the same level, basically. As for Japan, Japan's been in doldrums for a long time. I think
Well,
Israel um, is has a healthier
so,
economy
it,
than Japan does.
and just for the audience, just so they can appreciate this, Israel was, like I've seen some of the fundraising material for the Jewish agency or whatever in the 60s and the 50s. It was like help your poor Jewish cousin, and their economy was like, hey, Jaffa oranges. It is remarkable that their economy has developed this fast. I'm fascinated with this. What is the secret sauce? Is it just you put a bunch of smart people in a tiny country surrounded by enemies that's always being attacked, and they're forced to, get serious, get creative? Edward Lutwak, he was pointing out, he wrote a book about Israeli military innovation. He was pointing out differences between the Pentagon contracts and the Israel and how they did Iron Dome and these other things. And it was just like, you got to get it done now. There is no waiting, like there is no just cut the corner.
Then, 4 years ago, I was in Israel on holiday with my wife, and they invited me to go and visit the Hezbollah village built on the side of Mount Carmel, which is a full reproduction containing all the rockets, everything. Right? And I said, how do you get into the tunnels here? And the guy says, oh, well, Sayeret goes, specialized unit. You put ropes under the arms. We're going to lower him into the thing. He has an Uzi, he'll shoot. And I said, forget it. I said, the way to do it is to drill holes there. We're using RPGs. The Russia makes wonderful RPGs. They're very cheap. And all we take is an M113, which is this boxy, useless troop carrier. The Israelis have thousands of them, and they're selling them online, by the way. Or where?
How much?
I don't know. But they were getting rid of them. I said, we take this, we put a Marlboro box, a Marlboro cigarette-type magazine in the back, and a little arm to pull them out, dangle them to get things, and we start drilling holes. We don't know where the tunnels are, but the fact is the villages are quite compact. They're between the houses. These things are very cheap. Let's do it, and so on. Again, I was there on a family thing. I say this thing on Mount Carmel. I tell these thoughts of mine to the escorting officer, who was just a general purpose lieutenant colonel, infantry reserve, and next morning people showed up at the hotel. They said, and by that night I met the head of R&D command. In other words, open door, okay? People have ideas, listen to them. Open door is very important, and in this country, open door would do much more. There is no open door. And a final thing about R&D, it's very good that there's economic constraints, that you don't have all the money in the world. And you're a Marine, right? Mm-hmm. So the Marines, Berger, the commander of the Marine Corps, desperately wanted to get many more landing things, call them landing craft, okay? Many more landing craft, and because his distributed strategy to be able to attack all these stupid islands the Chinese have. So he goes to NAVSEA, Naval Sea Systems Command, because Marine Corps do not have any zero. The Navy doesn't let them develop anything at all. They have to do that. So they go to NAFC, and the Marines say, we want the smallest possible, simplest possible thing, and we want it next week. Okay, and it was called the Light Landing Craft, and they was advertised. They were very proud. They got the price down to $100 million. It's a box. It's a steel box with an engine supposed to move people. Okay, I don't know why it cost $100 million, but they were proud instead of being ashamed.
And do you have any thoughts on what is the source of this?
Yeah, I think that Israel has um, cultural roots that are very beneficial um, to all this. Jews have been dealing with hostile environments and improvising with rules and factors stacked against them and overcoming them for many generations. And also, Jews were not allowed to own land in a lot of places, so they focused on commerce, they focused on trade, they focused on education and learning. So that was the exact correct mindset for overcoming all these problems and thriving in an ideas-based economy. Um, Jews just land in the world of high tech running because that's what they're used to. I work in high tech now, and the training that I got in Israel, culturally, educationally, militarily, was all about overcoming obstacles at all costs in the most practical way possible. I used to live in Canada. I used to tell my Canadian students when I taught there that Canadians think inside the box. Americans are taught to think outside the box. And when Israelis solve a problem, there is no box. There's just a problem. They're solving the problem. That's ingrained in our culture. It's ingrained in who we are. And in an economy where everyone's competing with each other, that served Israel incredibly well.